Before that, Martin, how about those Mets?
Hello, nasty. Hello there. Hello, friend. Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends. Hello, operator. The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Brink of Sanity podcast, episode 380. It's been a little while, but we're back. We have Martin, the Doc, and Mark. How you guys doing?
Good.
Right.
Is this our 300th spectacular?
Yeah, it's our 300th episode special. 80 episodes late.
It's the post-pandemic special.
Has it been 80 episodes since?
Yeah, this is episode 380.
My son just asked him. Oh, sorry, Mark. My son just asked in the car, when's the pandemic over? I'm like, well, it kind of is.
Today, tomorrow.
Sure. Now it just ended, literally as you asked that question.
He just went to a bounce party. Like, I think that means the pandemic's kind of over.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's doing anything to mask-wise or anything like
A
that.
bounce party? Is that like
we have it near us also. It's a place with a lot of trampolines.
Trampolines.
Yeah, it's a chain.
Okay.
It's hard.
I feel like in some like next level of hell, you'll come back running a bounce.
That's rather accurate.
I mean, it has been 2 years. I mean, that's like, okay, we did it. We did the pandemic.
We beat this shit. By the way, like I know like 7 people now who have COVID like right now.
Oh yeah, no, everyone's
It's everywhere.
But that's the diet. That's diet COVID. It's not the real COVID.
Yeah. Well, this is COVID.
Are they in the Ukraine though? Because that only counts and matters if they're in the Ukraine or if they're in the news or whatever.
Yeah, I think actually in the Ukraine
or something.
No one's catching COVID anymore now that you're catching missiles.
Well, so you always look at the bright side of it.
They're not
That's a funny thing. You don't worry about COVID when you're getting bombed.
No, it becomes secondary.
No, they're not like, guys, we need to quarantine, mask up while you're getting shot.
Yes,
The,
quarantine in a bunker.
The doc was talking about getting more listeners and how we should change the name of the podcast to the Johnny Depp Amber Heard podcast. I was thinking I should just change the name to whatever the hot current event is. I could have named it like the Will Smith Slap podcast a month ago.
Yeah.
Wait, it would be so great if you released the show as the Ukrainian Crisis podcast and everyone's looking for like big news and what's going on in Ukraine, and we just do the regular podcast.
And not even mention Ukraine at all.
That was like our Trump idea. Just every week it's something different.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Trump podcast idea where it's just like it's a regular podcast. We're just using the name.
Why don't you call it the Joe Rogan podcast?
We'll go back to Trump in like 2024.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just keep naming it a popular podcast name until
the
we
Roe Jogan podcast.
It's not copyright infringement. It's the Joe Rogan podcast. It's the podcast about the Joe Rogan podcast. Does not actually cover the Joe Rogan podcast.
Right. Exactly.
And people will be like, I don't know. The latest episode of Rogan's 3.5 hours long, but the Joe Rogan podcast looks like it's 45 minutes. But I'm gonna go with that one.
Well, that's like having those like remember Webcrawler, the search engine from like the old days.
Yeah.
If you flip flop one letter, it would take you to a nasty website, and everyone like they would. I think that probably still happens if you mistype something and you go to
that's why.
Like I always type you porn. I don't know what happens.
Yeah. Right. I write tits ass, and then like I wrote ass tits, and it's like a totally. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Jay, why don't you just like do like the comic books where like instead of every like 4th episode of the Brink of Sanity should be the Brink of Sanity, and just pretend we didn't have episodes before that. Like just keep going back to 0.
Why would that help the podcast at all?
I don't know. People like comic books. They don't like our shows. So,
well, I mean, people like everything except the show. So,
right. I mean, why don't you name our podcast Cheetos? People like Cheetos.
But it's not the hot topic of the week, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think. Okay. So we had a vote. Okay. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp podcast, the Ukrainian Crisis podcast, the Donald Trump Returns podcast, or the
Joe Rogan
COVID Isn't Real podcast. Which one would get the most downloads?
I like the Joe Rogan podcast.
That's a pretty good one too.
People would be like,
you should try that. We should do that like as a spin-off to this show because This is very spin-off worthy, like All in the Family and the Jeffersons. I just feel the popularity. I think you need to.
This is like when Urkel showed up to Step by Step.
He was on Step by Step.
Yeah,
he was on all of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think he was so big at the time. I think he showed up in Full House, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I blocked that out of my memory.
He did everything except Perfect Strangers.
They brought back The Karate Kid. They brought back Full House. They bring back Step by Step. How is Urkel not back? How is he not How is he not on the phone with Netflix? Come on, guys, just put me in a show.
I'd love to see him as a 50-year-old trying to do that.
He totally could do it.
Yeah,
I think he's talented. It's going to be an unpopular take, but
he was on a Psych.
He was pretty
really
normal in like real life. I mean, it was.
Yeah, he turned out like. Yeah, he's big into weed. You know.
I would like it if it's like 20 years from now, and then he's like, "Did I do that?" And he's like, "Shit his pants."
Well, he used to say, "I've fallen and I can't get up." Now he could actually do it for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think I saw Balky on something recently.
Really?
Yeah.
The last time I saw him was on The Surreal Life. If you guys remember that show on VH1 back in the day. It was like him, Vanilla Ice.
It looked like him. He didn't look that old though. So
he didn't age very much. Like Mark Lynn aged like really badly, and
No, I think he still looks like pretty young.
Yeah, he does.
The same
because they did an interview together, and it's like one of them looks almost the same, and the other one looks like an old man. It was kind of weird.
Are they the same age?
I think they're close.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another one. Why didn't they bring back Perfect Strangers? That would have been a good one.
They are.
Back. Oh, they are?
With them?
No, with two black women who live in a yoga studio in Brooklyn.
Again.
Oh,
not again.
Great.
That's like a totally different show.
Yeah, they're not even cousins. So like, or even I don't know if they.
That's just another show. Like
it's the Odd Couple. They're mixing it. They're using the Perfect Strangers name, but it's like the Odd Couple.
Well, Jay, I think I told you this once, and it blew my mind when they said it, but it's true. Perfect Strangers was just male Laverne and Shirley. Really, same creators, same writers.
I'm doing a watch through right now of it. I'm on season 4. It's still really funny.
If they brought back the Jeffersons, would the Jeffersons have to be white?
You can't. No, Asian.
Yeah, Asian. Like, you can't do.
How does that work?
You can't.
No, they can't be. You can't be the. You have to be something. Well, I guess if it was a black show, they could never go to white. You have to.
Can't do that.
Go. Yeah, you'd have to.
It's a handicapped trans family.
Maybe.
No, midgets. Oh, did I say midgets? Ooh, I'm sorry. I just
can't do that. Too soon.
Midget seems like the word you still can use, kind of like it's just like
I don't know.
Really cares.
No, you can't.
They blur. They actually will block that out on old shows. They'll take the audio out.
There was some comedian who I think it was a comedian who mentioned they're like because you're supposed to call them little people. And he's like that just sounds so much worse.
Yeah, that doesn't sound better.
I don't think like you have to come up with a new word that just means that doesn't sound horrible. Like
I'd rather be called a midget than a little person.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think
wasn't there a genetic thing with midgets? Like there was like an actual definition. It wasn't like meant to be like they're like a midget and a dwarf are different.
I think dwarf has a definition. I think.
Does it?
Okay, what about this?
Weren't there only 7 of them?
Yeah.
No, I think dwarves are bigger than.
That was the definition.
I think dwarves are bigger than midgets.
What about if you call it the is it a midget or a dwarf podcast?
It's not the hot topic though.
What was the dwarf that helped you with golf?
That's Dwarf.
Wasn't it Dwarf?
Yeah,
Dwarf on golf.
Dwarf.
Yeah, it's Dwarf.
Dwarf the dwarf.
Dwarf.
He was a dwarf, one of the Carol Burnett guys, right? Who was it? It was Tim Conway.
Tim Conway.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right up there with Tyler Perry in my mind. No offense to I'm offending a whole culture, but I don't get it.
Tyler Perry has like $1 billion. I'm sure.
God bless that man.
He's a smart dude.
He gets it from production more than I think the other stuff, but yeah.
But yeah, he's still got $1 billion. So
yeah. Oh no. Well, hey, call it the Tyler Perry podcast, and then that would.
Yeah. What about the Tyler Perry? How about Guess the Jew podcast?
Guess the what? Jew?
Guess
is that what you said?
Guess the Jew. Yeah.
I'm gonna chalk that under bad ideas.
You don't think that would go well?
I don't.
Okay, so you're voting for Jay. Your vote is for the Joe Rogan podcast. Any other votes here?
I like that.
Burning Math Books podcast.
Burning math books.
No,
Don't say gay podcast.
Oh, sorry, banning math books.
Yeah, no, they're burning other books like 1984 and.
I like that book, by the way.
Yeah,
it's one of the few books I liked, but that I had to read.
I hope they're burning Fahrenheit 451 because there would be some irony there.
And Fire.
Well, that I was actually thinking of that. Fahrenheit 451 was a good book.
Yeah, but the 451 is the temperature that which books burn. That was the idea.
No, I hear the irony. I got you on the irony part for sure. Who's burning these? Who are these people that are burning books?
Well, they're banning books. They're banning like a lot of books for kids.
Oh no, they are. They're actually burning books too. I'll give you.
I think they're
banning like because they have like offensive shit in it.
Yeah, well, it's like they're trying to ban books that have anything like progressive in them, or if they talk about certain things.
All right, I'll give you a guess.
I don't know why they're banning math books.
I'll give you a guess which group is banning books. They are banning books that they think are woke.
Do you think
like critical race theory shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's critical. Yeah, I think that's the main reason.
But they don't know what that is. So if you look, they're banning like classic famous books because they don't really know what critical race theory is. So they're just banning like classic books.
Like Mark Twain crap.
But they're banning math books that apparently have critical race theory stuff in them. And I'm kind of curious what these math books have in them.
Right.
Apparently, well, did you guys watch Veep?
Well, actually, Mark Twain doesn't have the Mark Twain books have the N-word in it, so they haven't banned those books.
There was someone actually that said, you know how Elon Musk wants to has now I guess is completing his buying Twitter. He wants to put the edit button on it. So someone on Twitter said that like all the edit button will mean is a third of all viral tweets will now include the N-word.
I mean, also, like, anytime somebody posts something that's terrible, they're just going to edit it and be like, no, I never said that.
Well then people have like, people have screenshots. Yes.
I'm for the edit button because how many times do you typo stuff on your phone? Like, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Or you just make a new tweet. I get the idea that they don't want you to like keep changing. Like someone will respond to it, then you'll change the tweet and they'll respond to something else.
I think I
just think how people are like, I'm going to get off Twitter because Elon Musk owns it.
Yeah, it's all the same people said they were going to move to
change
Canada.
Anything because like the internet is a sewer, so like you can't just let people post whatever they want all the time.
I don't think Elon Musk fully grasps how complicated free speech is.
Totally.
It's gonna go. The reason it's haywire there is because it's really fucking complicated.
Yeah, he's not like he's gonna get into it and be like, "This sucks. I don't want to do this anymore."
I keep seeing people also post that like Elon Musk blocked my account. They're like, "Nice free speech, dude."
Yeah, but then I saw somebody post that Twitter automatically blocks people sometimes if Twitter thinks it's posting sensitive content to you.
Yeah, they have like computer algorithms and stuff. I mean, they can try to fix. It's like YouTube does that too. They take down videos based on a computer thing.
Yeah, like they think they see something, objectionable.
And then you have to appeal it.
If he buys Twitter and just deletes it, would we all be like?
That'd be a baller
really
move.
Respect him.
That'd be
the best
baller
thing.
move.
You go, sir.
But someone's just going to come out with something called Napster.
Do you guys do Twitter a lot? Or?
I read. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I barely. I don't. Who cares about what I tweet? I'll tweet something if I get something for free.
Well, we have like our accounts for the show, so I go on there. I don't know. There's interesting. Like I follow like Knicks content or like Mets content. It's interesting to read, and we'll post stuff because we need to add one more follower to our account.
Yeah. Sometimes comedians will say something funny.
There's actually some good stuff on there.
Yeah, it's like our Knicks Twitter. We follow all basketball stuff, and then the Brink of Sanity, which is Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. It's like a bunch of comedians and like.
I guess Twitter is kind of like TikTok. Like whatever you're interested in, you kind of like end up in that area. Like.
Right, and then we have a third Twitter account, J Loves Arguing, with no G at the end. And
I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, that's just us yelling.
That.
That's just us saying mean stuff to people and yelling at people.
Well, that's fun.
We created a third account so we like don't lose followers in the other two.
Yeah, because we were like tempted to post like political stuff or like I don't know stuff that would make us lose the 3 followers we have. So we figured we'd just do that account, and that account's like say whatever the hell you want.
I find with social media stuff also like Facebook, you're like, why am I on this? This is just annoying.
Facebook is pointless now. Facebook, I don't even understand. Like, it's just a stream of ads.
I haven't figured out. I mean, I don't find it interesting. I don't really care to see what everyone else is doing. That like I know.
But you can't even tell what everyone else is doing. It's just a bunch of ads mostly. It's like
the algorithm's gotten crappy lately.
And then like Instagram, I don't understand enough. Like it's just I don't understand enough to even download it. Snapchat, I don't understand. Which is fine. I'm in my 40s. I shouldn't understand this shit.
Yeah.
Twitter is interesting content. You can spend some time on there. You get some fun conversations or not.
Clips.
And then TikTok is fucking crack. It's goddamn fucking crack. It is just like you get a hit of that. You're like, where'd that week go? I was on there for a fucking week.
Oh,
I was on it for a week and then I just stopped. Like I stopped using it after a week.
No, but it's like you go on there. You're like, well, this isn't. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, she's hot. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, she's hot. Yeah. That's really interesting. Oh, she's hot.
Half of it is just jailbait.
Holy shit! Oh my god.
We have a message on our Nick's Instagram, Mark, that's giving you tips on TikTok. So you should read that.
Oh, what's it say?
Just read it. I'm not going to read it to you.
Read the fucking thing.
No,
you're going to tell me about it. Not read the fucking. If there's a message, read it.
So I don't know. I don't have it up.
Where was it?
The Nick's. Look at the Nick's messages on Instagram. It's
I can't find on Instagram. Just fucking find it.
Yeah, Rob sent us a message. So I made a.
Okay, I guess I'll never find out about this.
I made a music group on Facebook, and it's called J Loves Music. And
that one I know.
I didn't promote it at all. It now hundreds of people joined when I stopped posting, but they're all from like Africa. So now it has surpassed Brink now. Brink has been around for 14 years. And there's more.
So you have a bunch of African people following
There's
you?
like 300 Africans and then like you three. It's weird. It's a very weird thing. If you look,
how do I find
big
this?
With the African community.
If you look, it's like me posting like rock stuff, and then it'll be like a link to like African music. Like it's.
By the way, that's all new to them. That's how far behind they are. Like this is like they're like, wait a minute, Men at Work? What's this? This is new.
Jay, how do I find this message?
I have to moderate it because sometimes they'll promote their own music, which I'm like, fine, you promote your music. Boy. But then sometimes they'll just post like a picture of a woman with like a big ass, and I'm like, okay, we're not gonna. J-Lo's music is not about like just posting.
Well, when they do that, we should talk about the best big ass women's songs of all time.
"Fat Bottom Girls" by Queen.
That would be probably number one.
Was the worst unskinny bop.
Baby Got Back.
Baby Got Back's good. I think Unskinny Bop by Poison's probably the worst, right?
Oh yeah, what is it? What is this? How did these people end up on the site?
I don't know. Right?
I think they're looking for donation money to some Prince.
Okay, Jay. Okay, I got a question for you guys. I'm gonna give you guys. I have a would you rather for the show.
Okay.
Okay. And I had it pulled up, and now I don't have it.
Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay. I'm asking all you guys.
It's like they're not talking about DMT or hunting elk. This is not the Joe Rogan podcast.
Would you rather get $1 million, just $1 million, or you get $1 billion, but you are wanted for fraud?
I thought that was going to be it. Would you rather $1 million or $1 billion?
But you have to fake your own death.
$1 million.
$1 million. I'll invest and make it $1 billion at some point.
$1 billion just to fake your own death.
To like even like
Saul Goodman.
You get $1 billion, and you can have the $1 billion ahead of time, so you can use that money to help fake your own death and then go live somewhere else.
To your spouse too.
You can kill her if you want. Yeah.
Well, today, no. This is being recorded, right? I didn't say that.
I mean, the whole point of having
Martin, if you actually do kill your wife, our show would get a lot of publicity. I'm just saying. So maybe evidence in the case.
Anything for ratings, Mark.
Yeah.
We won't have to talk about. We won't have to talk about Johnny Depp.
Can you, if you do that, can you write "I did it for Brink" in blood with your finger on the wall before you cops them?
And then I'll fake my own death. I watched too much Breaking Bad to do that. No.
Is there a listener out there that would just like commit a heinous crime but put Brink up there? Just come on, get us some like reviews.
You know what would happen? The show The Brink on HBO would get all this publicity and people would still ignore us.
I have a thought. How about get O.J. Simpson to do it? He'll do it.
You know what would be great? That Jay's right. If they if someone says it and they're like, I did this because of the Brink of Sanity. And everyone's like going on, it must be the HBO show The Brink. And Jay's like trying to get the word out there. It's my fucking podcast. He referenced like 7 references to the show. He called Mark a pedophile. It has to be our show.
He said the negative.
That's why you need to call it the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm telling you.
Doc, are you going to fake your own death?
Nah, that's too complicated.
Oh my God. Martin, how would you fake your own death?
How would I fake my own death?
Yeah, now you have to. Okay, now you just have to.
I think I just kill myself, honestly.
Yeah,
fuck it.
It's easier.
Just the thought of faking my own death sounds very daunting.
I have to buy some rope and a pen to write a note. Fuck this.
I would say I would say that I went to Ukraine and then I got hit by a bomb.
There you go.
And then
you don't want a recording of yourself saying I got hit by a bomb. That might look fake.
No, that would be like someone would put out get someone to put out like a news report or something.
Did you hear about Sorry, go Jay.
I would just tweet, I really don't believe that putting a plugged-in toaster into the bathtub would work. And then I just never tweet again.
There was a guy who started this crypto fund in Canada. It was before Coinbase, like it's a couple years back. He started this big crypto fund and got a ton of investors. Then he went on vacation to Indonesia and then was just reported dead. and there's a whole conspiracy story behind it because no one knows like if he really died. And then the best part of it all was they're like, okay, that's horribly died. Where's the money? Like, can we get our money out? And they're like, oh, he was the only one that had the password, like the key to actually get the money out. So the money's just lost.
Yep.
Lovely.
That sucks.
And they're like, he just went on vacation in Indonesia, the only guy with the password, and he's dead now. Yep. And he was like 30. Yep.
Well, case
I thought about that
about the guy.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I've thought about that on a smaller scale. Like I die tomorrow. I don't know if my wife could log into the 401k account. I don't think. I think she'd fail, and there'd be like half of our savings like in some black hole. Like I don't know. I don't think.
A friend of mine asked me that question today, actually, about like, what do you like? Does your significant other have like your wife have like the passwords? I set up a document with all the passwords.
I've done the same, which is really bad to do, by the way.
I sent the email. I sent it to her and my father-in-law, and I guarantee neither of them would find the email.
I agree with you.
Yeah, same here.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I have all the info, and
I think Jay's cat, not the human cat, the feline, would do better than my wife.
I mean, I think there's a process like for a spouse, like they can get your stuff eventually. It's just harder.
I mean, if they're named on everything, they can just call up the bank and they don't have to like, log in.
What a hassle, though. Good luck.
But there was something that happened where the bank maybe changed my my password and my username. I was like annoyed they maybe changed my username. And I was like, as my wife, I was like, oh, like did they make you change your like username and password? It was like, really annoying. Like, and she's like, no. I was like, oh, it didn't make you. She's like, we can log in online. Never logged in online. No,
you're lucky.
I just go to the ATM.
My bank just changed to a different bank. It's just like 1 month it was like, yeah, we're not going to be your bank anymore.
They fired you.
Yeah, they fired me.
Wait, I thought there's like 6 banks in America. What you have like a
small... I guess it was HSBC, and they're like, well, now you have Citizens Bank. I'm like, okay.
Oh, they merged.
So it kind of messed everything up. It's like, all right, now I got to change the direct deposit. I got to change like everything, the debits.
All the numbers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
they didn't keep everything the same. They didn't make it a smooth.
No,
transition.
I mean, I think for like a month or two, like things will still work, but eventually you got to change it.
When I was in Boston,
it'd be funny if they were like, Doc, we're no longer in business, but Joe down the corner, he's got your money. Just
Yeah.
I was watching. There was like this streamer. She was living in Ukraine. She's American, but her boyfriend was in Ukraine, so they fled, and like she tried to get money out in Poland. Like after she had left, and they denied her, whatever. They put a hold on her bank, and then she called, and they're like, "Oh, you got to come to Ukraine to straighten this out." And she's like, "Wait, you want me to come back to a war zone?" To like so. she was like a YouTube streamer, so she had a bunch of money, and she was using a local account because she was living in Ukraine. So now, I mean, she gets more money now from streaming, but all the money that she had there, like, she can't figure out how to get it.
It's incredible how much money some of these people make. Do you remember?
So I think Ukraine like just took like her money, or like everyone who's leaving, basically like can't get their money.
Right.
On a much lower lower scale version of that. I was like earlier in the pandemic, I was canceling my gym membership, and they're like, "Well, sir, you have to cancel in person." I was like, "I have to cancel in person during a pandemic? What the fuck are you talking about?"
Come down and give us a virus.
She's like, "Well, we'll make this exception." Yeah, you'll make this fucking exception.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so there were a lot of things like that. Like I had to get like a car. I think I had to get like I got a new car, so I had to get like insurance, which asked me for an inspection. And then every place I tried to make an appointment was like, well, no, we're not doing that right now. So I called them. I'm like, I can't get an inspection. No one will do it. And they're like, okay, you can have 2 months.
Gee, thanks. Well, that's how long they thought the pandemic was going.
Yeah, you know, so 2 months later, you know, the pandemic was over, and then I didn't.
So Doc, you're being the medical professional on the show. Have we flattened the curve yet?
No, I think we need another like 3 years, I think.
Okay. Well, we flattened the curve. What were the other things? We flattened the curve.
I got way more curvaceous during this.
Stay home, stay safe.
Yeah, America got very curvaceous during all this.
Oh yeah, and then there was like
I don't think we've learned any curves.
The first month, everyone would come and like hit their pots and pans like as we were leaving the hospital. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, this is nice, but can you just be quiet? Like, I just want to leave." And then they would like form these like car brigades, it was like nice, but like I also wanted to leave, and like they were kind of in the way. So
are they? So for a while, you were like a hero, Doc. Are they still treat? Do they still treat you like a hero? Do you get any benefits?
that was like a month. Like,
yeah, they're like, it's been a half hour. You're not a hero anymore. COVID's still here.
We got like free food for a month. Like all the local restaurants were like bringing food for us and stuff. And after they stopped doing it, it was like, oh, okay. So now we're just like, that was only for a month, I guess.
For a little while, did you guys like turn to each other and be like, I like the free food, but do they know we're actually not going to defeat COVID?
I mean, we honestly had no. I mean, we didn't know.
You know what sucks? Like, so you were what was the word they used for everyone who was like an essential worker? Were you considered
frontline?
I think essential.
Frontline. You're in the front line. You're
frontline. Yeah.
It's like Normandy. At least like though. At least like
yeah.
You were in Normandy. You were frontline, and so was the guy delivering my pizza. And at the end of this,
a lot of people.
You're still a doctor. He's still delivering my pizza, so that's a lot worse.
You know, the thing was, like, at the time, it felt like the risk was really high. Now, looking back on it, like, even if I had gotten COVID then, I would have been fine. Like, it's like, it was worse. Like, the anticipation, the fear was worse. But
the unknown.
Like, looking back 2 years now, like, the risk wasn't really that high even then.
Was I ever going to catch COVID by if I didn't wear a mask in the supermarket? The ceilings are really high. It's pretty big spread out, at least in the suburbs.
Yeah, I will tell you, most people that got COVID that came to the hospital had like a family member or someone they live with or someone they spent a lot of time with that had COVID most of the time. I mean, there's like sometimes where people don't know where they got it from, but like I would say like 8 out of 10 times someone will tell you who they got it from. So like,
I feel like I was
that
not
kind of
gonna...
infers you have to be like around people for a while. Like, so, the supermarket thing, I think, is like pretty unlikely that you would get it that way.
Yeah, it seems kind of unlikely. A lot of the scenarios seems like very. I remember at one point someone was explaining to me how, like, well, if someone's running and if you're going for a run, the person ahead of you is running, and it comes out of their mouth and goes into your mouth because you're running in a straight line. I was like, I don't think you can get it running. I think
my rule is like, I would say like it has to be a somewhat confined space for more than like 15 minutes. So, like, if you're in a grocery store, you're not really like. You're moving around. You're in and out. Like that doesn't really.
There's no spitting on you.
Yeah.
So apparently you go to like an upscale grocery store. No one's spitting on you.
Well, I think like bars are bad because they're like indoors. You're talking. You're eating.
And you're all like staying in the same space for like.
Yeah, and like if it's crowded or like stadiums and stuff like that.
Jay, will you go to a supermarket without your mask on now?
Depends which one. I have some I do, some I don't.
How many fucking supermarkets do you go to?
3.
What do you mean some?
3.
Well, he has
Martin, do you go to 12 supermarkets like Jay?
Dose.
Okay.
Whole Foods and then a regular market that Whole Foods doesn't sell anything. I'm a snob. I like Whole Foods. I can walk to it.
Okay. Hey, Martin, I have a question for you.
But I will not wear a mask.
You live in the. I stopped wearing masks in the supermarket. You live in the suburbs, right?
I do.
Yeah. Do you go to the city to go to the dentist?
No.
Do you think this? Yeah, Doc.
To the city.
Would you go? Would you travel 40 minutes to on a train to go to the dentist in the city?
No, that makes no sense. There's dentists everywhere.
First of all,
I can only think of one exception.
Okay.
I mean, unless you have like someone.
For another
dentists, like if you have like a relationship, like if you know someone,
like you're fucking the dentist.
No, I guess
if you find a good hygienist, there is something to be said for that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like if you already have the dentist, then I mean, people don't want to change.
All right, Jay, what gives? We know you're laughing.
First of all, it's my original dentist.
From like when you were a kid?
No, like the dentist I was seeing before.
Original dentist?
It was the dentist I was seeing before COVID. So then I went.
By original, he means it was dentist from 3 years ago.
So I went to a dentist around here, and they gave me the X-rays of my teeth, and they didn't put the shield on me. They just fucking zapped me with X-rays without
That's not good.
No, it's really bad.
Does that mean you have superpowers now?
I don't know. My
It glows in the dark.
Yeah, I mean I won't know for like 5 years, but something bad could have happened.
Jay, something bad could happen to you either way.
But if you've ever had a CAT scan, like a CAT scan is like having 700 X-rays at the same time. So like one X-ray is not going to really do much, but they should have put a shield on you. That's kind of messed up.
Yeah. So then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going back to my old dentist.
But just in terms of like easing your anxiety, like one X-ray, overall, it's not a lot of radiation.
By one, you mean like the 10 they took?
Well, all right, 10. But just saying, if you've ever had a CAT scan, that's like 700. It's like orders of magnitude more radiation. So
okay,
like we used to be afraid of X-rays, but then I think they realized it's not as much radiation as
that dentist didn't tell you to say shields. That's what they should have said.
It has a cumulative effect. I mean, if you're constantly getting like a lot of X-rays, like over time, it could have an issue, but just once.
The Jets took the Jets took a quarterback and a fucking wide receiver with their first 2 picks. I fucking hate being a Jet fan. Anyone else a Jet fan here?
There's but I know there's no quarterbacks in this draft. What are they doing?
They took a cornerback. C-O-R.
Oh, I think it's a quarter.
I know it sounds similar.
What did the Giants do?
The Giants took a defensive end. I don't know why the Jets couldn't think. That guy Thibodeau, he's supposed to be really good. The Giants took him right after the Jets did, and the Giants
He's a mediocre NBA coach.
Yeah, he is. Took an offensive tackle. I want the Giants draft. The Giants draft is so much better than the Jets draft.
Well, that's because they hired a good general manager for once.
Yeah.
Finally.
The Jets are only allowed to hire people who have autism to fucking make the picks for them.
thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com is our email. Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, here's a pointless anecdote for you. I was out for an anniversary dinner last night at a fancy restaurant with my wife, and all of a sudden, one of the songs from the Knicks podcast intro starts playing as background music right when my wife was talking. Of course, I couldn't concentrate and had to Shazam the song, New York Groove by Ace Frehley, by the way.
That's a good one.
It was
from the individual Kiss albums, right?
Yes, that's the guitarist from Kiss. It was an amazing moment for me and really ticked off my wife. Have you ever had a moment like that before? I've definitely Shazammed something in the middle of a conversation with my wife. Yes. When there's a good song, you got to find out what it is. That's it,
I agree. I thought he was going to say it was "Go New York, Go New York, Go." I thought for sure that's where you were going.
He would have known that one. I think.
I would hope. That's a good song, but like back in the New York Groove, they play that at a lot of New York sporting events.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it like much at all before we started the podcast. Maybe it just wasn't. I don't know if it got more popular again or it's just on my radar now. But like I hear it a lot now, and I did not hear it in like the 90s or like.
They play it on classic rock a lot,
like
on those stations. But I think the Mets made it somewhat big. That was something they were using for a while when they won games.
Because sometimes songs make resurgences.
Yeah, and don't make a joke about how they don't win games.
Mets are 14-6. They're awesome.
Yeah, this year they so far.
Lorenzo
Well,
also
they've had good
writes.
starts before.
He's going to get us off sports. He's going to get us off
Lorenzo
sports.
also writes.
If your significant other, hang on, if your significant other asked you to close your eyes and open your mouth, would you do that?
Yes, because my wife's a good cook and she's probably just going to put something delicious in it.
So I did that. I put sardines.
Good answer.
I put sardines in my wife's mouth. She didn't appreciate that.
I wouldn't either. I'd be pretty.
Well, she shouldn't have done that because she should know better.
Yeah.
I had a can of sardines, and it was really disgusting.
That goes without saying.
How are you still married?
You know, it goes back to over the summer. I had a blood test, and they said I was low in iron, and they wanted to give me iron supplements. So if I was like, instead of getting iron supplements, I'm going to look at foods that are high in iron, and sardines are high in iron. So I was like, I'm going to eat a pack of sardines every day, and that'll fix my iron issues, but I don't want to take supplements.
You know, it doesn't really matter that sardines are high in iron because no one eats them. So, like,
You know what's better than sardines? You know what's best?
you know, a
for
bar of iron is also
iron.
high in iron.
Exactly.
Well, I bought the sardines, a couple packets. Then I never ate the sardines.
Yeah.
And I went for another blood test, and then my iron was normal, so I never took the supplements. But then I was like, I wonder how these are. So I opened them. I'm like, I see my kids try it. They're all like, ew, this is so gross. I was like, Liz, come over here. Liz, close your eyes and open your mouth. And she's like, okay. And she was kind of.
My wife wouldn't know. My wife wouldn't do that for various reasons. Never asked to be honest.
I was shocked.
She's
she
a
went along
nurse.
with it.
No. She doesn't like certain things that require that action to happen.
I don't understand. Explain further, Martin.
If you don't understand, then we have a problem.
We are in the same boat. Lorenzo writes, morning, fellas. We have our first ever Carl's Jr. burger joint opening up here in Australia. Should I be excited?
No, but you should go to Hardee's.
Well,
I don't think I've ever tried Carl's.
He
Is
probably
Carl's
doesn't have a
Jr.
Hardee's
good?
either.
You
Yeah,
do
I don't
get the
think I've
joke?
ever.
Does anyone get that joke?
No.
Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are the same thing. They're literally, it's like Checkers and Rallies.
I never heard of Rallies, but Checkers is awesome.
So I think it depends on
actually
what
thought-
part of the country you live. It's
Well,
different.
they have like different names.
Oh.
So.
Oh, I literally thought Checkers and Rallies were the same restaurant.
They are.
Oh, they are. It's just literally the same like chain, but with a different name.
Exactly. Like I think mayonnaise, right? I think Hellman's is here, but like on the West Coast, it's called something else.
Mm. Checkers is underrated, by the way.
They closed a lot of them around here because no one went.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
They're really good.
I used to live in Atlanta, and they had similar to that. They had these really long streets that went through like for miles across the town, and they'd have one name on the white side of town and one name on the not white side of town.
No, that's Kennedy Fried Chicken and Kentucky Fried Chicken. We know better than that.
That's Long Island does that like everywhere. Like Middle Country Road has like 5 names if you go down it. It's
Yes,
stupid.
Jericho Turnpike, Middle Country Road.
And then there's a
Main
number
Street.
too, right?
It is weird.
Yeah.
Like, why did they change the name? I mean, I understand Atlanta did it for racist purposes, but what was Long Island? Like, why did they change the name? Like, I had that in our town also.
It is annoying.
I don't know.
So I don't think Carl's Jr. is that good. Have you guys had it?
I don't think I've had it.
No, I've never had it.
Like
I-
5 napkins, good. Like some of like the bigger.
Where,
a lot of
where
good
is a
chains.
Carl's? Where is a Carl's Jr.? I don't even know.
I had it in. I mean, they're in the, like Midwest and South. I had it in St. Louis when I had it,
Oh, okay.
and I thought it was like Wendy's to me.
Wasn't
Yeah,
Paris
it's-
Hilton doing those ads where she was like in a bikini eating Carl's Jr.?
I don't know if it was Paris Hilton. It was
It
a
was someone
supermodel.
like someone very
and it was
attractive.
slow motion. And,
Yeah. It
But
was
yeah,
over the
Lorenzo,
top.
that's not in the Northeast region. We don't have that chain here, so we're not going to be very helpful with that.
So Australia has one up on us.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants an In-N-Out up here too, right? They want the In-N-Out. burger.
Yeah,
I
that
feel like
I've had
that's
before.
overrated beyond belief.
Yeah,
I've
I had
never
it when I
tried
went
it
to
in-
Vegas, and it was like, eh.
Oh,
it's
that's
okay.
like I've always really wanted to try it because it's like it's so talked up basically how amazing
Yeah.
it is.
You know what's better? I miss. They had it here for a hot minute. Fat Burger was really good.
Oh, I mean, even like Shake Shack is actually pretty good.
It's
Oh,
all
yeah,
right.
there's a Shake Shack here. I just had it yesterday.
There's plenty
It's
of
good.
them. Yeah, there's
all right.
plenty of them around here now.
Bear
But,
Burger is like everywhere now. I don't
That's pretty good too.
It's
That's
all
a
right.
different thing. That's like kind of like that's not fast food though. That's like fast casual, right?
We
Right.
had Bear Burger in our town. It went out of business.
know. Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay.
did COVID kill it or?
I don't know. I mean, like it's like the kind of food like you would think it would get enough takeout. Like we have lots of pizza places in our town that are thriving.
Yeah, it's kind of weird with COVID. Like some businesses did really well still.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a Bear Burger and a Smash Burger. Smash Burger is still in business with Bear Burger. Bear Burger is like the upscale burger. Smash Burgers is like it's kind of like a slightly better McDonald's.
Isn't Smash Burger where they just squeeze out all the juice, which is the best part of the burger?
They just pound their. Watch everybody. They pound their meat.
Somebody clip that.
Martin, I'm still not following you.
Well,
explain further.
Thank you, Muppet Show.
Anybody know how to make a GIF?
Slow motion.
Well, Martin, now I'm going to watch. I'm going to have that in my dreams all night.
Watch the ratings spike.
So the Martin Beats His Meat podcast.
I watch it every night.
Felipe writes, "This isn't really a fun email. I just want to comfort Mark a little. Mark said he was worried that his daughter would one day discover that Mark blogged about his son and not her. In all seriousness, if she discovers this when she's old enough, she'll actually be relieved that there was no blog about her. Imagine being a teenage girl with a bunch of your baby stories on the internet."
It's a pretty solid point.
That's
a bad
fair
point.
take.
I think you have, you probably have about 6-7 years left, but how old is she?
She's 8.
Yeah. Once she hits like 13, 14, she's not going to want that at all. She's probably in the jealous stage now, but if you could hold this secret for
now
another,
she'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
I think she'd be really annoyed.
Couple more years, I
13
think you're good.
should kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I had a credit card that had like Capital One, but you have like pictures on there, and I had a picture of my son on there, and it's this picture when he was like 2 years old, and I just kept that picture. And one day she sees the card, she goes, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, where's my card?" And I was like, "Fuck,
dude, where's my card?"
You're like, "I left it at home. I'll bring it next time."
Do you guys want to hear about 10 bold predictions for where the NFT world is going? I wanted to get your reaction.
Is 9 of them nowhere?
I just watched something about NFTs. Like there's a lot of lawyers that do like YouTube stuff, and he was basically like, there's no like enforceable contract on these things. Like it's basically like you're just taking someone's word for it.
I mean, the whole thing is just insane. But so currently, have you guys heard of OpenSea?
No.
It's a marketplace where the most popular marketplace out there where people buy NFTs.
Yeah.
They say currently there are more NFTs indexed on OpenSea than Google has web pages. And that's right
99% are bored apes.
I mean, and they say DeFi, which is decentralized finance, but I'm not even sure what the hell that is, has more than $200 billion in total value locked into it right now. And there are apparently 30 million active monthly users across blockchains. I don't even know what a user means, but that's where it's currently at.
So anyone want to speak Chinese to me? Because I think I'd understand it just as much as
you lost the audience, Mark.
I lost the audio?
I don't
the audience, the audience. Nobody
so
knows what you're talking about.
People pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars for a picture of an ape. I don't get it.
So I started.
It's like you don't even get the picture.
Doc, I could explain it to you in 2 words: money laundering.
Total
scam.
Pyramid scheme.
Scam.
I think it's just it's probably a lot of money laundering, but a lot of it's just like they're all Beanie Babies. It's just this is all going to like. There's no way you're like, I was lucky. I was able to send my kids to college because I bought a picture of a dog playing poker.
But it's even worse because like even with the Beanie
Tamagotchi.
Baby, at least you actually have it. Like it's obviously not worth whatever.
Yeah, it's a non-fungible token, right? It's like
like it's like you get a hyperlink. You don't even get like an actual like thing that's like only yours. Like it just points to something. Like,
so I heard like one of the things that so that these NFTs they're like well, one thing people can do is they can start using those NFTs as their profile picture. So you'll see sometimes on Twitter someone will have a picture of a monkey or like the what is it, the bored ape or something like that as their profile picture. And
you
I'm like,
can do that anyway. Copy.
Yeah.
Paste.
So I was like, oh,
Screenshot.
cool. That means they own it, or that means they own control, where they could just copy and paste. because I can do that also. So there's no like.
I can make my own board monkey.
The entire use case, like they say, like, oh, it's a great way for digital artists to sell their works. I'm like, the entire use case currently for NFTs is that someone will pay more than I paid for it.
Well, this lawyer was pointing out the other problem with it is, like, let's say whoever makes it can have, like, if you buy from them, you might have like a contract, so that might be all right. But then if someone buys it from the second person, you lose that like chain of custody, and then it's basically like you can't really prove that you have it. It's like not,
There's no audit trail. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's on the blockchain, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like, if there was any kind of dispute, like there's no law that protects you against like.
Well, same thing with crypto, right?
I mean, the whole thing is just I mean,
like if you went to court for it, the lawyers and the judge would just be like, "This is like nothing. Like, we can't do anything for it." Like,
maybe like you're like to win this case, you have to explain crypto and NFTs to a 50-year-old judge. Good luck.
And like 12 jurors who like couldn't get out of jury duty.
You mean you couldn't find 12 jurors who who had PhDs in computer science? I was reading about how
sounds like a fun group.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna read these predictions, but it's a weird fucking world, a really weird world. I saw something else about how people are now starting to get married in the metaverse.
Like a virtual wedding?
I don't even know how to get to the metaverse. I thought it was just
the metaverse. Like, I thought it's not even a thing yet.
There are games you can play. Like, you can get my son got the Oculus, and we got him the Oculus too.
Well, that's like a game though.
But there's something called Decentraland, an Ethereum-based virtual world where people are that's kind of part of the metaverse.
I mean, that's not like Zuckerberg's metaverse. That's like a different.
I don't fucking know what the metaverse is.
Is that where I actually get laid?
Yeah. One of them's got to.
But they talked about this. I read this article where they're talking about how like these two people, because everything, they decided to have a wedding in the metaverse, and so all their friends had to basically put on, I guess, Oculus or something like that, and go into the metaverse to attend their wedding.
I would just not attend the wedding.
You have to cover the plate. How much is it to cover the plate at one of these weddings?
I'm fairly certain, like, if I got that invite, I would immediately defriend that person on all social media and never talk to them again.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you could just tell them that you were there. Like, how would they know?
Oh,
right.
Oh, who was I? I was the person. I was the goat wearing a hat.
Yeah.
This just sounds like another money-making scheme.
It is.
Just like regular weddings.
I was the ape NFT.
Well, they were saying that. They were saying an average U.S. wedding costs $28,000. But there's this law firm that helps you put on these virtual weddings, and they can cost up to $15,000.
Celino and Barnes?
Yeah.
Wait, somebody paid $15,000 for a virtual wedding?
Yeah, apparently.
The server was very expensive.
You have to get people to, like, I guess the thing, depending on what you want, you have to get people to, like, code the stuff, I guess.
That's like the college kids who paid for virtual college. Like, the pandemic happened and they're like, go home, we'll teach you like online, and they're like, but we're paying like $60,000 a year.
Right.
It's like,
sorry.
Yeah, I can have like a real wedding for $15,000.
This law firm pitches that your wedding will now live forever because it's on the blockchain. If anyone can figure out what that means.
Yeah, because I pull up videos from the blockchain all the time. It doesn't even make sense. I
don't. The thing is, I don't know is like, like you go back to those videos, you see someone like talking about the internet, like, yeah, how do you even get on the internet? What's up? An internet page? Like, and they sound like such idiots now. Are we going to sound like this?
I don't think so.
You think we're Katie Couric and Matt Lauer? Like,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking.
No, I don't think so.
I hope not. I think this is too deep. Like, this is like, I think this is like the futures and options. Like, some people understand futures and options, right? Some people, but the regular person doesn't understand what the hell that is.
I think 5 years from now, NFTs aren't even going to be a thing.
So you know how, like, here's another thing, another use case for the NFTs. A lot of them, like, you buy them, they give you uses. So you know how you would, like, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to watch a big boxing match, you would just pay the cable company and watch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So Floyd Mayweather, for his next boxing match, you have to buy an NFT in order to view the fight.
Okay, I'll just watch it on
What's-
YouTube the next day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, he's fighting on May 14th, and if you buy an NFT, you could live stream the fight. But it's the only way to watch
Only
it.
if he
I mean,
fights
if
Danny
it co-
Bonaducci will I care.
If it costs a similar amount as like a pay-per-view thing, then I mean whatever. But like,
But then you have to figure out how to buy the NFT and how to
Yeah,
hold it, how to use that to like get into the.
But to buy an NFT, you have to use crypto, right?
Yeah, I
think so.
believe so.
that's true. Yeah.
So
there's
in
a ton of
theory,
people who,
5 years from now, you could have spent $50,000 to watch the Mayweather fight.
yeah, that makes some sense.
Right, the fight. Yeah, the value could go up so much.
Yeah, if
It's
the
also
value
gonna make-
spikes, if we have another bull run, you can end up spending. It's like the guy who spent $500 million on a pizza when Bitcoin first came out.
Well, you know how this like the pitch in crypto was like it was going to make money easier, and now like 5 years from now you're like, fuck, I forgot to go on the blockchain to buy to buy an NFT so I can take the bus to work today. Fuck.
Right.
But it would, you know what's interesting about that? Like, say you had to pay like $50 in equivalent in crypto, and you
Yeah.
get an NFT. That's what you would have paid for the pay-per-view. At least you're getting something.
Yeah. So this says you have a collectible, tradable, 3D animated, ultra
That's what I'm
VIP
saying.
NFT
It's the same
ticket.
price than whatever.
Yeah,
If
but
you can
your
figure out how to
$50
do it.
might not be worth $5,000 5
Right.
years from now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
Yeah,
yeah.
difference.
but if you hadn't you wouldn't have gotten it anyway. So
It's a fucking stupid boxing match. Who cares?
Oh yeah, well it's Floyd Mayweather who's just a
Someone
greedy
may
little
want to.
fuck.
Someone may want to buy this collectible from you later on because they're a fucking moron.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
I know
true.
there's only 7,000 stupid pictures of apes. You want to buy mine? No, you don't. I don't get it. I thought this was going to be my retirement fund.
It's really like when they always talk about they're like all these socialists want to redistribute wealth. People are buying pictures of apes for $500,000. Yeah, let's just redistribute. Let's just fucking redistribute.
So,
Yeah.
so we do realize we did NFTs before, although they were fungible, but they're worthless, right? We all did it. We collected baseball cards.
Yeah, no, exactly. We all did.
And-
Yeah.
A box of like 89 Donruss, which is a brand of baseball
Those
cards
are-
for those who
those
don't
will
know,
be
but
fungi-
they're $5.
Yep, I
Yeah,
sold.
it's
Those would be-
fungible, but
I sold
those would
all
be
my
F-
baseball cards a
FTs,
couple
right?
years ago. I
They're
got almost
FTs?
nothing.
yeah, they're FTs. But at the end of the day, it's kind of
It's all Beanie
Yeah.
Babies. It's all the same shit.
Beanie Babies, Tamagotchi toys, right?
Pop figures,
Funko Pop,
Funko
or
Pop.
whatever that is. Yeah, people collect those things. Oh,
I know
it's all
people have
collect-
hundreds of them. Those are the new Beanie Babies. Guaranteed
People
that's going to
collect the
crash. in a
dumbest
second.
fucking. But again, even antiques are just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
All this stuff is stupid. At least I guess physical objects you at least display somewhere. You could have like, look at the display of my Beanie Babies
Yeah.
versus someone's like, look at my display of my NFTs, and I didn't buy them because I just copy and paste.
Yeah,
them.
that's
So they're actually-
the non part. I think is what the doc was.
yeah,
talking
not
about.
having
It's,
anything like
stupid.
even
Yeah.
if it's like not worth as much as you paid for it, at least it's something
right.
you have in your hand.
Well, the Honus Wagner card, right? The first baseball card ever, keeps selling and appreciating and going up and going up.
Yeah, if you
But-
can't have like a room with like, let's say you're a collector of something, like if you collect a bunch of NFTs, you don't have anything. Whereas
You,
Well,
you
it-
either
like
just have
other-
monitors. like,
Yeah.
when we
showing-
all live in the metaverse, you do have something. We all live in the metaverse. And we're like, God, his metaverse house is so much nicer than mine.
There's no monkeys on my wall.
Is there going to be a ghetto in the metaverse? That's what I want to see.
Obviously.
Ghettoverse.
I mean, you think any of this stuff will be compatible? Like, let's say Zuckerberg makes like whatever his meta thing is, you're not going to be able to put your NFTs there. Like, that's not like how it's going to work. You're going to have to buy whatever Facebook is selling to like.
Oh, so you mean the Atari won't work with the ColecoVision? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Actually,
It's-
Coleco had an adapter. But
They did have the adapter, the
Right.
sidecar
Yeah.
adapter.
Never mind.
Yes.
Mark just turned. I still look at Mark's face like, don't get into this. We have.
What,
We
what
have.
did
I
I
was gonna
do?
say,
What did I
because-
do? What did I do?
Which, by the way, which of
No,
these
it's fine.
companies would make-
Mark doesn't like video games, but
What?
he throws in baseball all the time, so we're free to talk about video games. It's
Oh,
No, I mean,
okay.
the point is like these NFTs becoming obsolete is like probably like very likely.
yeah.
You know, like they're not going to.
There's too much of a supply. Well, it's probably too many, right? I guess that could be.
Yet people are still
what-
paying like crazy amounts of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But you don't hear
for
about the
some of them.
people losing money, though, right?
Oh,
you
I
never
saw-
hear about
people-
that.
Oh, I
No,
saw
people
a thing.
like people will
Yeah.
lose money too. Yeah, that's no question.
I saw a thing. It was like this website. They had this month in NFT scams, and all the scams look
It's
like
like-
Bored Apes, something like similar, and they all had similar pitches. And like every one of them was a scam on day one. Like as soon as people got the money, they just spent off the money.
Well, there was like a guy selling like people's music, and the artist had no idea. Like he just people didn't know. Like he thought they were coming from the people thought it was coming from the artist, and it was just a guy ripping off artists
Yep.
and selling, whatever, like bits of their music. So
We have 2 more questions.
Okay.
Rob writes, Batman reactions. Did anybody see the new Batman yet?
Nope.
So I saw the first hour. There's like 3 hours of the movie. It's not like a regular Batman. It's like Batman was in a detective movie. Like he kind of plays detective. It's
But
okay
the
so far.
Batman was originally in Detective Comics.
Okay. Well, then maybe it's holding true to the.
makes a lot more sense, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I was an hour. I was so I downloaded. I downloaded for the. I had a long. I was just on vacation in Hawaii. Family vacation was wonderful. But we had a long flight back, and I downloaded the Batman movie to watch on the plane. And I was all excited. I got like an hour into it. I was like, this is. I'll watch
I
it.
feel
later.
like that happens to me with like a lot of movies these days. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should have been. First of all, 3 hours. I feel like it should have been a TV
Yeah.
show.
Or just
Someone
make
just-
it like 2 movies.
I think an hour and 40 is enough.
Yeah.
I'm good at an hour and 40.
SNL.
what
SNL.
was that
they
movie
had.
recently where like the world was ending?
Fucking God!
Don't Look Up.
It was so long.
Yeah, it was a good movie, but it was way too long. Like I appreciated the point of the movie. Like I got it. It was funny. But like I paused it and I looked and I'm like, there's another hour of this shit. Like it should have
was-
ended.
Pete Davidson did a video skit on SNL recently that was like, I don't want a long ass movie. And he was like, nothing should be over an hour 40. And then
Oh,
I
he
think
did?
Totally.
and then Netflix made a category for that because it really is fucking annoying when the movie.
He's not wrong.
Long. Yeah,
He's not wrong.
3
Yeah.
hours
It is
means
scary.
3 hours means you don't know how to edit.
I
There's
rarely
like
see a
rare
movie.
every now and then that deserves to be over like 2 hours, but that's like once every like 5 years.
It better
like, one
be
movie.
really good.
Yeah, I
Those look
rarely
really good.
see a movie over 2 hours where I'm not like, they could have cut 20 minutes out of that.
So Don't Look Up. It was 2.5 hours. The movie had 2 jokes. It could have been 12 minutes long and it covered
have been.
the entire movie.
It could have been one of those like viral like video clips, like viral YouTube clips, and like
Right.
for 12 minutes, and that would have been fine.
Yeah, that was how you edited that movie down.
Totally.
Even like the new Sopranos movie was like 2.5 hours, and it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I heard that was really bad.
But yeah, the new Batman movie, I want to go back to because I feel like I was on the plane and maybe I was like maybe in a different setting I'd like it a little better. But it was.
It might just not
mediocre
be
so
good.
far.
I mean, I watched Aquaman on the flight to Thailand and I hated it, and I don't think I'd like it any better if I watched it.
How did they make Aquaman bad? Like it's just like
It was boring and
yeah.
shitty. I don't know.
Yeah, the Batman movie seemed kind of boring. I was just like, and even the fight scenes, I was like, this is. I don't know. He didn't seem like the badass Batman I wanted.
All right, last question. Anthony writes, Elon Musk just bought Twitter, and there is a lot of people in media going crazy about it. Thoughts?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think
I
people
think
just
we
want to scream
sort
at
of
the
talked
clouds.
about it, but
I don't think there's
he
going to
thinks
be
he's going to
huge
make a bunch of changes, but he's not going to.
Yeah, I don't
Did
think
you
there's
guys
going
know
to be
that-
huge changes.
Did you guys know that Elon Musk didn't start Tesla? He
Oh
bought
yeah,
it.
he bought it from somebody.
He
yeah.
started
Yeah.
PayPal. That I know.
Well, I mean,
He
the
started-
original
It was
Nikola.
barely anything when he bought it. I think.
No,
Like,
he made the company for what it is. But I was like, I just didn't realize he actually didn't the company was
I didn't
been
know
around
that,
for a
actually.
year. They had been around for a year. He invested I think they raised $7 million and like $6 of the million came from him. He basically took over the company. It's totally fine, and he grew the company exponentially.
Oh, he made it. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
said. Yeah,
But I was just like, oh, I didn't realize he didn't actually start it.
that's interesting.
I mean, I think it's a good idea because like there's a bunch of smart people. Like he probably got a head start with it. I think that was like, he wanted to probably start a company, but he saw like something already existed.
Well, apparently he started. So I was looking online. He started some other company called Zip something or other. Zip2 was his first company.
Oh, there was something with PayPal, right?
He
PayPal
started
was his-
PayPal.
PayPal was his second company. The first company is like
okay.
something called Zip2, which was something about like virtual, like city guides, like when you have like a guide to like things in the city. He made some kind of internet version of this. He sold it for like $300 million.
That's
then
weird because I never heard of it.
Yeah, that he sold to Comcast for $300 million. Then he started a thing called X.com, which was an online bank. It merged with another online bank, and the new name was PayPal. And he sold that for like.
That's weird that he sold that one for $300 million. Yet I had never encountered it. Like unless it was like
this is from Wikipedia today.
No, it's just weird. You think it would be like like something he made that much money from. You think it'd be everywhere.
So the thing I'm curious about as a business person is he paid a lot of freaking money. How are you going to monitor? Like, he's obviously not looking to turn. I don't know how you could turn a profit with. I mean, you can freemium it, like Darren Ravel's always said. You could make some money off of it. I don't know how you can really monetize Twitter that much. I just don't, because the moment you start charging me to go on there, if you charge me, nope, I'm gone.
They could turn it into like video games, like how mobile games are now.
Yeah, but why does Facebook make more money than Twitter? Like in the sense of like they're both similar ideas.
They have a lot more ads.
Yeah,
way more ads.
If you go on Facebook, every third post is an ad now. Literally,
can't you figure out something out like that? Like monetize it better the way.
Do you get paid for Facebook? Like in YouTube, right? Like if you get enough views, you can make money, right? Like is that how Facebook works too?
No.
Yeah, I think they have. It's not as good as YouTube. But
I mean, they're
like for the content creators.
Yeah, their videos do the video section, but not their.
I hear the content.
You guys
the
were
content
saying earlier,
creators like YouTube a lot better, basically, for making money.
Yeah. So you guys were saying earlier, like how you find Facebook. The one thing I actually do like about Facebook is the video section. Yeah, because a lot of the times it'll throw videos up I like because it knows what I like, right? It'll say, you watch this thing. And sometimes it misses. Mm-hmm. You know what? I actually go down a rabbit hole sometimes.
I think it's because I think they're just copying like TikTok.
Yeah, they are. Hey, Martin, have you spent any time on TikTok?
But TikTok is quick hitters, right? They're real fast, quick hitters.
So much. I haven't spent enough time on Facebook's videos.
Yeah, I think they're using the TikTok, but making it like their own thing, I guess.
Right, but there's 10-minute video. Like sometimes they'll throw up like a Howard Stern interview like that I might have missed, and it's like, I'll watch that.
Their main feed is a train wreck. It's terrible.
It's horrible. It used to be way better.
Yeah.
They like
with every like new version, like they just kept making it worse with every new update. Like back in the day, it was like you actually felt like you could see what people were up to and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, now it's like.
Also, to a certain extent, also like I don't know if I want to see everyone I know the best of everyone I know. Oh, they're all having this amazing everyone looks like they're having an amazing life.
Yeah. I'm sitting at work. To tailor that. But you should be able to tailor that, not them.
Right. I don't want to see the best of everyone's life. That makes me it'll make me feel worse about anything I'm doing. So I want to turn that part off.
You want to see all the bad news.
Yeah, I want to see them like having a fight with their spouse and then their kids having a meltdown.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
I also don't want to see anyone's views on politics. Like if I want to see views on politics, at least Twitter, these people I don't know, so I don't really care as much. If I see like someone I know being a complete asshole, I'm like, well, this fucking ruins my day.
That is, that is Martin's
not even
feed,
anything
though.
Like what it used to be. Like it used to be like you could see what people were into, like music and like you can't even like put your photos in a certain place. Like it's not anything like what it was. If you looked at your Facebook page from like 10 years ago, it's like it would be a totally different website.
Well, you could have done that today. Did you hear what happened?
What?
No.
Like all Facebook groups, I think snapped back to like May of 2010. There's been some weird internet stuff today. Like the internet was running a little slow in some places. Yeah. But like my wife was telling me, like all the groups like went haywire today. So something got screwed up today.
Oh.
So
I don't know. What's
Russia. Yeah, Brink went from 303 to 302. I was like, whoa.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 304. That would have been weird.
Last question.
Like Russia like hacks. They're like, we've hacked Facebook. We will shut it down if you don't give us what we want. That's cool.
We will shut down Brink of Sanity. We will only shut down this one podcast.
Would you guys go to on a different note? Would you guys go to a sober bar?
No.
Sober bar?
No.
You know what I call that? Starbucks.
So have you guys heard like there's a whole thing of like of mocktails where you'll have like this like a growing segment of the alcohol business is mocktails where they
like
sell
O'Doul's?
Yeah, so the O'Doul's thing, but like they'll sell all kinds of like spirits, but not have alcohol in them. And I'm reading
I
that
could
there's an
see
article.
like I could see it being a thing. I don't think it's not a thing for me, but
Is it for like recovering alcoholics?
And
Well,
nerds.
they're trying to build to a bigger audience. So this guy's starting a franchise, a sober bar franchise, where he's trying to like open up multiple bars where you go there, you get mocktails, and like where you might go if you're in New York City, you go to buy like a mixed drink, it might be like $12. At his bar, it'll be $5. Of course, there'll be no fucking
they
alcohol.
understand how alcohol works. Like,
Right, yeah, of course juice is $5.
yeah.
Also,
No, but it's also
a bigger
it's also
audience.
like alcohol, like you want to drink more, like
It's a
and,
social
like,
lubricant.
Yeah, no, but you also buy more. Like you know how it is, like 2 drinks, 3 drinks, and then you start buying like much faster.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink
You know,
like
like-
7 like orange juices.
Yeah, no one's like someone will have one of those and be like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
The only way you're going to get me to drink 7 like out of anything is like if you feed me like a very salty. Well, that's why bars serve salty snacks.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the only way you're like, oh my god, I'm free, or hot stuff. Like, oh my god, I need something to drink.
yeah.
I don't know.
But the alcohol
that's a little
itself
odd to me.
does something where you want more of it, you know.
Yeah, it lowers your inhibitions. You want to spend more money.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being at one of those places and you're like drinking water and your friends are like, dude, you're just drinking water? You're like, there's no fucking alcohol in this bar. What do you care?
Or somebody gets out of control and they're like, dude, you've had enough. He's like, no, I want an 8th cranberry spritzer.
You're like,
you're
dude.
bouncing off the wall. You've had too much sugar.
Dude, you can't have another cranberry spritzer. You have diabetes.
I don't know.
I think
In
it's
another
just- it's
world,
a
I would have called this something else, but I can't say what I'm thinking.
It's a problem with the business model. The reason a lot of bars work is just like when people come in, they don't just have one drink. You know,
Yeah.
but with that, I think people are going to just have one drink and leave if they come.
Apparently a big, they say there was a study out of Britain that said 16 to 20, a quarter of people 16 to 24-year-olds are non-drinkers. And they need someplace to socialize.
Well, my wife said around here where I live, they did have a bar that was for like 16, like underage, like for like 13
Yeah.
to 18-year-olds to go and
That's
hang
fine.
out.
I mean, that's fine.
It's not around anymore, but I guess it was a thing then. We didn't. I don't remember having that.
When
It
we
didn't-
no,
it
they had a
didn't
bunch
do
of
well
those
out.
places.
We had like teen nights and stuff, right?
They had a
Right.
bunch of those
We used to
places
go.
when we were growing up, but they all closed as we were getting to that age.
Yeah,
There was-
they just.
Oh, really?
they just-
Yeah, there was like 6-7 places on in Long Island, and like
We used to go.
as soon as we turned 18, like we went to a couple of them, and they were closing one by one as we were going to them.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, there was one right here in Massapequa. I mean, I'll tell you where I live. Who cares? And
This guy says he has his bar. He says on average night, he's got about 35 people in the bar. He charges a $15 cover for unlimited snacks and drinks.
Cover too.
Oh,
cool.
so that's good.
all right, that's not bad. Do they have a
That's
bouncer?
terrible.
I guess that makes sense. I guess.
And you get all kinds of cool drinks that just don't have alcohol in them.
Do they have a bouncer?
I don't know, you don't need a bouncer to a bar that don't want.
Well, that's.
to-
I mean,
How
I
do
guess
you
what,
know?
if you. I guess that's good. Like you pay up front and then you can drink. Like, as
Yeah,
much
then
as
you'll
want.
have the salty snacks. You'll buy you'll
Yeah.
get these drinks, and you're like, oh, they're kind of cool.
I'm a
tasting
Shirley
drinks.
Temple fan. I admit it. I like good Shirley Temple.
I'll drink a pina colada. I actually like the pina colada without the alcohol better.
Yeah, no, I mean they can be good.
You having like a black Russian without the liquor? Like it's a chocolate.
Yeah.
It's chocolate. Yeah, you're like you mean Yoo-hoo?
Hit me with a yoo-hoo, sir.
I mean, it sounds like something where
Iced.
you're like, okay, I'd go here once, and then you'd be like, okay, why don't we go to an actual bar in the next?
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like I kind of want to get a buzz a little bit. So
I will say though, you probably reduce the asshole factor.
yeah.
Probably,
True.
Probably, yeah.
So like,
Oh,
let's just
yeah.
say we're all in our 40s. Let's say we were like, let's get a drink. And we were like, well, why don't we go to the sober bar? Because the sober bar will be like, we can all just sit around and have a conversation, and it'll be less.
Well, it's good. It's good in the
More
suburbs
calm.
because everyone has to bring their car basically. So
Right.
it's good.
Right.
It's good. You know,
That's
in the
true.
city, like you could just drink and whatever, but like
I still think that's just called a coffee bar. That's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
to me. It's like let's go to the cup and over here and grab a
You-
coffee.
Do you think you pull away from the sober bar, and the cop pulls you over, and he's like, "Sir, I wasn't
I saw
drinking."
you in that bar.
And he's like, I just pulled you over to tell you you're a fucking pussy.
You said what I was thinking earlier.
we did the breathalyzer, and your levels are too low.
Sir, go back to a regular bar, get fucking drunk, and get back on the road.
There used to be a different word besides pussy that I would have used. But,
Everyone knows there's a sweet spot of alcohol intake for the best driving.
All right, we are at a time. Last question.
Oh!
Last question. Anthony writes, if Elon Musk offered you $50 billion for Brink, would you sell your soul, or would you do the right thing by your fan base and stick independent?
So,
Is that even a question?
so I had a question. I'm going to
I
follow.
think you'd have to fake your own death.
First
to
of all,
make it
Jay
like-
has no soul. Let's just establish that. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Okay,
It's
so
not even-
Martin and Doc, Elon Musk offers us not $50 billion. He offers us $5,000.
$50?
and we have to sell Jay into slavery.
Wait, Jay,
Is his
Jay doesn't
master
get
a hot
money, he
chick?
gets
'Cause then-
slavery?
So I create the show and do it for 13 years, and then you guys just sell me.
You get sold for slavery.
I
That
never
actually
thought
sounds-
it would end
That
this
sounds
way.
about right.
Sounds
that
like the
actually
worst
sounds
deal
totally
Is that
like
the going rate right now?
plausible.
Yes, massa.
You know what? I'd watch 2.5 hours of that movie.
It would be a really popular show to see Jay's. I would follow a Netflix
Like
special.
Truman Show.
Yeah.
Jay in slavery.
Yeah, that would be an awesome documentary of Jay on slavery.
The epic-
Jay, do
the-
you mind being
the
sold to
epic
slavery?
So are we talking
15-year
about like cotton
podcast.
picking? Are we talking like cotton picking slavery, or like what kind of slavery are we talking about?
Jay, what kind of slavery would you prefer?
I mean, I kind of felt like I should be the hero in the
Yeah,
Jay,
that's the
do
whole
you-
point. You don't
Jay,
get
do
the
you
choice.
want more of like the where they whip you, like in like a sexual way, S&M way? Do you want to pick cotton?
This podcast took a turn.
How does it start off with me like hemorrhaging money to do a podcast that nobody listens to, and then like the end of it is just being a slave? Like that's like the worst movie ever.
He fucked up.
Do you want to be the
That sounds really funny, actually.
what if you were the Gimp from Pulp Fiction?
Mm-hmm.
Get the Gimp. You guys remember the Gimp from Pulp
Yeah,
Fiction?
I'm trying to picture how that like a podcast host transitions to that because the Gimp
It
doesn't
would
really,
definitely be a
It's like-
transition.
he doesn't
It's
really
like
talk, does he?
hard work to make a podcast does not pay. It actually does the opposite.
For this one, yeah, we're the only one where it's like
I mean, God bless that listener who thinks the podcast is. What podcast is worth that?
By the way, you know, like you always think like, oh, if I could only have been in on that, like I could only been in on Tesla right before I knew about it, like before it became big and invested in it.
Amazon.
We as a podcast have been doing this for over a decade. Podcast world has blown up.
you guys are ahead of your time.
We were in the early stages, and we're still where we were in the early stages.
I know it's
Like-
amazing.
Podcasts have been sold for hundreds of millions of
Slow
dollars.
growth strategy. That's what it is. It's just slow growth strategy.
We have our biggest ad play we've ever gotten. DraftKings is paying us $50 a week, and we're like, this is the best we've ever done.
Note to self: not buying DraftKings stock. I'm just kidding. Actually, I already have DraftKings stock.
I guess the Knicks podcast is like better because it like has a fan base, you know, in terms of the topic.
Yeah, that's where we're getting the $50. Not for
I think
free.
you just got to get the right guy to
It's
promote it.
It's got something.
Whatever happened to what's his face, the soup guy?
John Henson.
Yeah,
He
was
got like
pretty popular
really
for, like,
busy
a
with
sec.
his kids and stopped.
He was also only
coming
on
the
one
show.
episode.
Two.
But that's
He was
something.
on two?
Yeah, I did one without you.
Motherfucker.
You didn't know. Wait, this could be it. This could be the rating.
I had to say, we were supposed to have plans tonight and go out. We ended up, our plans got canceled. But if I'd gone out, you guys would record without me, and I was very excited to listen to the show without me.
We're gonna have James Corden on because he just.
I
did
think the
Late
show
Late
is-
Show.
The show is very entertaining when I'm not on it. I mean, just generally speaking, when I'm not. But like when I listen to it, like it's a good show.
I
lot of it-
listen in sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's just there's no way to like for people to find the podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's just
Too
like,
many.
It's more.
Yeah.
It's more advertising is the problem than anything.
Okay,
else.
so for the people that are listening, just to give us some good feedback, would you listen to the show more often if Jay was sold into slavery?
All right, we are out
The
of time.
slavery podcast.
I
Well,
have
you
to
could
go.
just think about it like when we're looking for podcasts, like what are we looking for, and how would we find this podcast? You know?
So what about the Give Slavery a Try podcast? Would that be a popular name?
Yeah, I think that
Thank you for joining, everybody.
no problem.
Now that the Knicks are eliminated, we will be doing this more often. So stay tuned. Let's get the. I like this. I like the chemistry the four of us have. We should do this again soon.
Yeah, it was good.
We need 9 boxes, so it really does look like the Brady Bunch.
Can we get Brian also? So we have 5 boxes.
And then we need it definitely the blue background.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have a maid in the middle.
And then we can like look at each box.
Do you guys watch it real quick? Do you guys watch Jeopardy at all?
Yeah.
Recently?
No, I mean I've seen it, but
Well, not recently.
So at the end of Jeopardy now, they show the champion in a big box, and they're like, tomorrow on Jeopardy, Martin Tessler faces these 3 people, and they have 3 people like this. It looks like the Brady, and they're like looking at each other, and they're like, and it's just like, what are we doing here? It's weird.
That's weird.
Well,
is the Blossom still hosting?
She is still half and half with Ken Jennings.
Okay.
oh, Ken Jennings is hosting too. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm more of a Ken guy than a Blossom guy.
I took the view they should have just like stuffed Alex Trebek and like just had like a ventriloquist.
We can have
Reanimated
Bernie.
him.
Yeah.
Just-
All right, we are Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. The Brink of Sanity at gmail.com is our email, and brinkofsanityshow.com is our Twitter, and we're Brink of Sanity on Instagram and Patreon.
we could have called it Weekend at Jeopardy's.
It would have been amazing. The Midwest would have missed a beat.
You can't make a second one though, because the second one was just as good as the first.
That's
Do you think Pat Sajak is all like he's like, ooh, Alex Trebek couldn't hang on. I'm still here.
I'm the king.
Fuck you,
He's got
Trebek.
to be pretty old.
Suck it, Trebek. He's playing this out like the Oscars.
I think Jay's done.
Made it like the slavery comment. Why do I have to be a slave?
You know, Elon has a lot of good ideas on how to make this better.
Where's the slave mix at the end?
I think if Elon invested $50 million in our show, we'd only double our listeners.
Yeah, it'd be worth it though.
Well, 2 times 0 is 0,
Elon's like,
right?
I can't fucking go to this podcast. It's insane.
It's a curse.
I see the goodbye music had no effect.
None
I
at
think it
all.
encouraged more.
The
You're gonna have to edit it in later.
That's it.
Was that the first time you guys ever talked over the goodbye
I,
music?
think,
I usually shut up during the goodbye music. I actually really like
I
I
it.
usually
usually
do
do
too.
too.
I mean, it usually goes on for
I
a
don't know
second
what
or two.
happens.
Yeah, it usually
Podcast
works.
first.
Usually works.
Jay, do you want to try again? We'll talk over it.
I'm completely powerless in this show anymore. This is why I'm a slave. Like,
No, it's
This
your
is what it
microphone.
is.
It's your quiet microphone. That's the problem. You
Hey,
have
Jay,
the reverse Stephen A. Smith problem.
all right. Goodbye,
We're still
everybody. For
recording?
real. We're